In this 6 video series we will cover why you should pick a certain class, and I help you to figure out today if the Sorcerer fits your playstyle. So in general, the Sorcerer is best described as a mage that freshly escaped Azkaban and turned to the dark side. He can either wear a huge staff for a big beating, or he can choose a small wand and an offhand that sometimes even looks like a decapitated head. But no matter what weapon he equips, he has access to the elemental powers and can destroy his enemies with fire, ice, and even lightning. The Sorcerer has a set of 4 basic skills that, unlike other classes, don't allow him to regenerate resources on hit by default. The resources of the Sorcerer is called mana, and it regenerates automatically. But you can boost the process by speccing your Frostbolt into Glinting Frostbolt, for example, or by speccing your Firebolt into a Flickering Firebolt. The Sorcerer's class specialty are the Enchantmentslots, which become available at level 15 and at level 30. Those 2 slots allow you to set any of your available skills as a passive. So this means every skill of the Sorcerer has an active effect and a passive one. And here you can see the skill Flame Shield as an example. The active part, if we press it, makes us immune to any sort of damage and CC. But the passive part, if selected in the enchantment slot, will give us a revive after we die. This is also unique about the Sorcerer. He is currently the only class with access to a cheat death, which makes it really popular around hardcore players. Next in the skill tree we will find the 6 core skills. Just to mention 2 popular from the beta, there was the Ice Shards, which was your way to go if you wanted to play an ice-centered build. Those stood out with the ability to ricochet between enemies and also giving him some AoE ability this way. Another popular one was the core skill Chain Lightning, which sent out massive electric AoE damage that was also transformable into high single target DPS if you were alone with a target. Those are then followed by defensive skills. And this is also a point where one of the big strengths of the Sorcerer lays. Barriers such as Ice Armor and Flame Shield give you an insane amount of tankiness, while Teleport makes you one of the most mobile classes of the game and allows you to either blast through maps or dodge dangerous situations at ease. In the next section of the skill tree we find the Conjuration skills, which are basically summons that you can control. The most popular one being the Hydra, that can even get enhanced to have up to 5 heads and either applies heavy burn damage or can crit like a beast. These are then followed by the Mastery skills, some of the main damage sources of the Sorcerer. To mention 2, we have the Blizzard, which surrounds you in a dangerous field of ice, not only damaging the enemies, but also applying heavy CC effects around you. And we also have the Firewall, a hard to place burning area, but if you master it, your burn damage output will be insane and you truly feel like you mastered the fire element. This only gets topped by the ultimate skills, which are really powerful, but on the other hand also have extremely long cooldowns. Here the most popular one is the Deep Freeze, which allows the Sorcerer to become immune for 4 seconds while dealing massive amounts of damage and CCing surrounding enemies. So you're basically caught in an ice prison, you can't move, but you have those other great effects. Then the tree ends in 6 different key passives that are good indicators for new players as an example to determine in which direction a working build can go. We have 2 different key passives for each element. Let's showcase one of each. For fire, we have the Ezo's Ferocity, which gives us large damage boost if we manage to kill an enemy with a crit. For lightning, we have the Vir's Mastery, which gives us an insane amount of damage reduction, and this will enable sorcerers in the late game to go melee. For ice, for example, we have the Avalanche, that boosts all of your frost skills and gives you free skill casts. So really powerful and extremely good for your mana management. Now let's sum up what we just heard and bring it into the strengths and weaknesses of the Sorcerer. Sorcerer is probably the class with the most build varieties out there, just to the simple fact that the sheer amount of enchantment slots allow you so much diversity in the build creation process. It's just incredible how many different options you have on this class compared to other classes. With the skill Teleport, Sorcerer is one of the most mobile classes, allowing for really nice shenanigans. Also, the Sorcerer is the class with the most available CC out of any classes. But be careful, some monsters are CC immune, and if you center a build only for CC and you encounter those monsters, you sometimes just die because your build cannot handle it. So this is especially important in hardcore. And then we have a double-edged sword. While the Sorcerer is incredibly tanky with his barriers, he lacks a lot of armor. And it's highly important to remember this in your class building process. So, for example, just a little hint, if you're having jewelry, you can place crude skulls on there to get more armor. That may be like a little side information. Also, the resource of the mage, the mana, is not easy to handle, as you need to be really creative to generate lots of it, because it's a passive rather than an active regeneration. So good resource management is the key to the class. And one last weakness of the Sorcerer is definitely the team play, as he has almost nothing that buffs his mates or can provide huge team play value. Unless you commit yourself to being a CC bot for your team, that's your only viable team value that you can give. So to sum it up, the weaknesses of the Sorcerers are definitely handleable, and if played to perfection, you will enjoy the most versatile class of Diablo 4. And now to the final recommendation. I personally think that Sorcerers are for players that like to play ranged classes and enjoy kiting and dodging. If you're a newcomer to hardcore, this class is probably your go-to way, because it currently has the only cheat death available and will forgive you at least one mistake. And maybe some interaction that could also be important. If you're going into the proc of the Flame Shield, you have 2 seconds to activate your Scroll of Escape. And this gives you a really, really high chance of survivability in hardcore at the moment. In general, the skill cap is not as high as for the Rogue, but still in the tops, because the reaction time matters a lot playing this class, especially with Flame Shield timing to dodge skills and stuff like this. And of course, if you enjoy huge area of effect damage with nice animations that freeze the whole screen, make the world feel like it's burning or sending everyone on the electrical chair, then you should pick Sorcerer. If you have any more questions about the Sorcerer, let me know in the comments. I will always answer everything in less than 24 hours. If you want to discuss your choice or builds, I highly recommend joining my Discord server to meet like-minded people. And the last thing before this video ends, on the 4th of June, when I'm coming home from my vacation, I will start live streaming daily on Twitch with a unique concept. We will play hardcore only, and if I die, this will trigger a community event for all of you, where the loyal viewers can earn nice rewards out of the cash shop, like skins, battle passes, mounts, all this kind of stuff. So don't forget to subscribe and follow to not miss out. Cheers!